Hello, fellow gardeners. Happy Monday. It's February 13th in sunny West Central Florida. On my way to put millions of beneficial microbes in a fellow gardener's garden. That's my big water tank in the back. Yesterday I harvested and processed all of the greens in my fall garden, all of the collard greens and broccoli greens and what was left of the cauliflower. I got them harvested and I gave a bunch away. I gave some to both of my neighbors on either side of me, and then I froze the rest. I was able to take all of the stalks and trimmings, and we started another compost pile. So yesterday was a very productive day for me. There is plenty of information out there on how to freeze collard greens. It's not as simple as putting them in a bag and throwing them in the freezer. Many of you know that, but many of you may not. So I made an instructional video, and here it is. I hope it is helpful to someone. I did enjoy making it. Have a good day and happy gardening. We'll start with just making sure everything we're working with today is clean. We don't have to get crazy. We're going to rinse them one more time. But I want to make sure 100% of the dirt and grinds off of pretty much everything that's going to hold our produce. But we're just going to harvest everything. Little broccoli florets, I'll throw them in the fridge. We'll eat them later today or tomorrow. But all these greens are going to get put up. I'm not trying to be careful by any means. I just take my hand clippers, cut the whole plant, throw it in the buggy. If you see, a lot of these broccolis still have a lot of florets. They're pretty open, but they're still just fine to eat. I'm also going to leave probably 2 collards, 2 collard plants. To harvest. They're kind of in the corner, so they're not really in my way. That just leaves the stalk to pull out. And I saved myself a bunch of dirt in the buggy. Ended up with a surprise when I got down to the cauliflower. One of them had put out a little side shoot sucker type thing and putting out another head of cauliflower. That was a nice surprise. So the next thing we'll do, we'll start rinsing these leaves. There's always going to be some stuff on there you don't want to eat, whether it's bug poop, bird poop. And the collard greens, I just strip them like that. These stems are too big. You do it however you want. Whatever works best for you. Sometimes if I'm on a roll, I can lay them all flat. Do them like that. I'll just go through the whole cart just like this. Stemming the greens. Here's another way to do it. It's pretty efficient. Stack all your leaves. Stack all your leaves like this. Try to get ones that are all about the same size. Hold them together. And rip down. I probably had too many that time. But there, that's a little bit quicker, more efficient. Well, next thing we do is give everything a really thorough rinse. And some little florets. We'll pull those out, have those with dinner tonight. Now this is a big tub of water. This is actually a, oh, there's Mr. Frog. That's the luckiest frog. That's the luckiest frog in West Central Florida. Almost ended up with some extra protein in our greens. So like I said, I thought it'd be a good time to start another compost pile, because we have this finished compost and I've got a big pile of wood compost, composting wood chips. So this would be a good time, a good spot to start an entirely new pile. This is all the stuff that we cleaned out of our fall garden. Well, it's not all of it. This is the plants and trimmings from where we froze the greens. You can work out whatever system works best for you. But I take greens out of the wash bucket or wash bucket if you're from up north. Well, the next step is the blanching and cooling process. And for that, I use a big propane cooker, a turkey fryer. It's just half filled with water. Same bucket that we clean the greens in, but we're gonna fill it up with fresh water. I have 3 bags of ice, and of course our collard greens. Another good thing to have is a screen or some sort of mesh to go over your cooling bucket, because the process is the greens go in the boiling water for a set amount of time, and then they have to come out and go directly into an ice bath, because the blanching, the immersion in the boiling water, is going to start the cooking process, but we have to stop it before they're entirely cooked, because that's happened to me in the past. I blanched them too long and I didn't cool them quickly enough, so then you freeze them. When you take them out of the freezer to eat them, they're pretty mushy, and it still tastes good and edible, but mushy is never fun when it comes to vegetables. So now, note about blanching times. If you look on any food preservation website, FDA or any other, it has a table that shows the blanching times you should use if you're going to freeze vegetables, because you can't just freeze fresh vegetables. You have to blanch them and then quench them in ice and then freeze them. So for collard greens, it says to blanch them for 3 minutes, and that means they have very detailed instructions. Bring the water to a rolling boil, immerse the greens in the boiling water, and then of course that's going to stop the boiling, and then it says to wait until the water comes back to a boil and start your timer, and then time it for 3 minutes, and then take them out, put them in the ice bath. I have done that, and I was not happy with the results. I ended up with very, very mushy vegetables. So I'm going to adjust the blanching time today. I'm going to start my timer. I'm going to load my greens in the boiling water as fast as I can, and then I'm going to start the timer right then, and I'm going to go for 2 minutes, 120 seconds, and I'm going to take them out, put them in the ice bath. And that doesn't make them dangerous to eat. It's just not according to their directions. But like I said, I've tried their directions and I wasn't happy with the result, so I'm going to try something different. I'm going to load these greens in there as fast as I can. Okay, so that was 2 minutes immersed. I've got to try to get them out as quickly and efficiently as possible. Dropping them in the ice water. See, blanching them turns them a beautiful bright green. All right, it's been a few minutes. The water's plenty good and hot again. We're going to give it a minute to heat back up in a couple minutes. In the meantime, we'll put another bag of ice in the water because it's not ice cold anymore. It's kind of just so cool. The heat. Remember when we started out, that gorilla cart was full to overflowing with greens. This is what's left. This is probably 5 gallons of greens from all of that. They cook down, and as you cook them on the stove, they're going to cook down much more. Well, so that's the end all be all of it. All that growing and harvest and processing gives us like 5 gallons of greens. So I'm gonna put these in quart bags because my wife and I figure that a quart is a good serving for 2 people for a dinner. And then I'll also put some in some gallon bags. We might have company one night and we need a bunch. But most of this is going in quart bags. For ideas on how to cook your greens, you can consult the internet, any Southern cookbook. You can scroll down on my YouTube page. I have what I feel is the best recipe ever for making greens. Even Zoe likes them. You know, there's a couple different ways to do this as well. Some people want to be able to take portions out of the same bag. Now I'm bagging this so that if it's just Michelle and I having dinner, we thaw one bag and cook it and have it as a side dish. But if you go to the grocery store and buy a bag of frozen collard greens or turnip greens or whatever kind of greens you're looking for, it's a bag with crumbled frozen greens in it that you can pick from, kind of like green beans. You don't have to thaw the whole package at once for your dinner. So I'm not preparing to freeze them that way, but I'll tell you how to do it if that's what you want to do. You have to have a large tray, like a big cookie sheet, and you would take these greens and spread them out on that cookie sheet, and you would lay that cookie sheet on the top tray in your freezer or on one of the shelves in your stand-up freezer. We have both. And then you let those pieces freeze solid. Might take an hour. Then you collect all those pieces and put them in a bag. And then what you have is a bag of frozen but separate pieces of greens. And that way you can go to your freezer, you can open the bag, and you can take out the amount that you need for that meal or that day, what have you. There's that little cauliflower head. But we're just doing it like this. So that's it. All that work. That was the better part of a day. So it was 1, 2, 3, 4 gallons in a quart. And this is the payoff. We ate from these all season collard greens, broccoli, and now we're putting up the excess, and we'll eat from that until we grow more. So here's 4 gallons of mixed greens that will carry us quite a good ways through the season until next fall when we grow more. And that's what it's all about. I know where the plants came from. I know what kind of fertilizer they got. Everything was all organic. I was out, I had enjoyment growing them. A lot of work harvesting and processing them, but this is food for my family, and that's what it's all about. So hey, I know this was a long video, and I really enjoyed making it, and I really hope it was helpful to somebody who is growing and maybe doesn't know how to freeze vegetables for cooking later, but this is how I do it. Thanks for watching. Hope it was helpful. Happy gardening.